today, the latest on the deadly attack in New Orleans that left at least 10 people dead, with officials calling it a terrorist attack. And new tonight, promises from federal leaders for what's next.
And sunshine to start the new year, but some big changes for next week. We'll take you through them in First Warning Weather.
And thanks so much for staying with us on KXAN News. I'm Jennifer Sanders. We are starting with the breaking news of a Texas man police say intentionally drove into a crowd of people overnight in New Orleans, killing at least 10 and critically injuring dozens of others. NBC's Jesse Kirsch reports from New Orleans.
A short time ago, officials here in New Orleans held a press conference and gave us an update after that deadly ramming incident overnight. What we know at this point is as follows. First of all, the Sugar Bowl, which was set to be played this evening here at the Superdome, has been postponed at least 24 hours to tomorrow night. I asked officials what gives them the confidence they can put that on safely tomorrow night, and the governor simply said because he will be there. So we don't have much clarity at this point on what exactly officials are doing to ramp up security or reassess the security situation, considering the fact that they acknowledge there may have been deficiencies on Bourbon Street where this attack happened overnight. Officials tell us that there were some bollards, those posts that go about waist high and can protect sidewalks or street areas, that some of those were being in the midst of a repair project, and officials tell us that there was also a lift gate that was not functioning properly. But officials tell us that all of those elements of a security apparatus that were not working properly or were not in place or were in the midst of being repaired did have a backup security situation to fill in those gaps. So officials tell us they did have backup security situation in place. However, officials also did acknowledge that the barriers, the bollards that are on Bourbon Street did not extend to protect the sidewalk. And that is where officials tell us that the suspect allegedly maneuvered the vehicle and was able to careen down Bourbon Street, according to officials, killing at least 10 people. That is what authorities allege this suspect did in this incident. That suspect now deceased, according to authorities as well. We continue to push for answers on why the security situation was as it was overnight, what more is being done, and we continue to wait to see what will unfold here as authorities tell us that they have found and rendered safe at least 2 IEDs, and also say they do not believe this suspect acted alone. Back to you.
Okay, back here at home, the FBI and the Harris County Sheriff's Office are currently conducting an investigation in North Houston. They say it's related to the New Orleans attack. They have secured a perimeter in an area that's near Hugh Road, and they're asking people to avoid that area. They do plan to be there for several hours. Officials say due to the ongoing nature of the investigation, no further information can be provided. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden is promising the full force of the federal government in response to the attack. KXAN Washington correspondent Jesse Tenier has reaction from federal leaders.
The reaction is one of anger and frustration.
President Joe Biden is mourning the people killed and the dozens injured in what officials are investigating as a terrorist attack in New Orleans.
These are my people.
Senator John Kennedy and Congressman Troy Carter stood with their fellow Louisianans as the FBI announced more details New Year's Day. The agency says a driver rammed a pickup truck into a crowd on Bourbon Street before being shot to death by police.
If this doesn't trigger the gag reflex of every American, every fair-minded American, I'll be very surprised.
The FBI says it does not believe the driver acted alone, and officials found an Islamic State group flag in his truck.
We expect to put the full force and resources of the federal government behind this investigation.
Carter says President Biden promised him that.
To bring these cowards to justice.
The attack also postponed a college football playoff game at the nearby Superdome until Thursday.
It was done with one single thing in mind: public safety.
Carter encouraged the fans in town to stay vigilant. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
And the D.C. Police Department announced it will heighten security throughout the nation's capital out of an abundance of caution, especially since Congress returns later this week. Tournament of Roses organizers and Rose Parade participants in California expressed condolences Wednesday morning for the people of New Orleans. They held a moment of silence before the parade for the victims of this morning's attack. People at the parade, including Louisiana natives there with the state's float, are sharing their concerns.
It's very sad, you know, we wake up on New Year's Day and start of a new year and everything, and the first thing you find out on the, your phone when you get up is tragedy, you know. I mean, it's just, some people in the world, you just don't understand how they think and, why are they doing these kind of things.
And the float representing Louisiana won the parade's award for most outstanding artistic design.
First warning weather with Chief Meteorologist Nick Bannon.
Okay, plenty of sunshine out there today, but it was still chilly. Even as we barely reached the low 60s, we have dropped off into the 50s throughout most of the hill country. A lot of middle and upper 50s there for you now. Even in the metro, we've seen a lot of those 60s disappearing, except for you and Kyle. You're at 61. But in Austin at Camp Mabry, 57 and 58 at the airport now. Into our eastern counties, it's a mixture of upper 50s for most and low 60s for some. And with a clear sky overhead for now, these temperatures are actually going to drop pretty quickly this evening, even though clouds will be increasing as we head through the night. So we're down to 50 here at 8, mostly clear this evening, and then thicker and lower clouds come in overnight into tomorrow morning. That's going to put a halt to the temperature drop. In fact, temperatures may start to rise before the sun comes up tomorrow as we climb from the low 40s into the mid 40s by 7. There will be a lot more cloudiness over the next few days as we slowly warm up, but all eyes on next week as the coldest air since last winter comes in. We'll give you a preview of what to expect in First Warning Weather.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. There was a deadly Cybertruck explosion outside a Trump hotel in Las Vegas today. Stick around for what we know about that investigation so far. And the Texas Longhorns took the Arizona Sun Devils to 2 overtimes in the Peach Bowl. Jonathan Thomas will have highlights. One person is dead and multiple are injured after a Cybertruck burst into flames outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas today. Police say the Cybertruck pulled up right outside the glass entrance doors to the Trump Hotel before 9 this morning when the vehicle exploded and then was engulfed in flames. One person died in the vehicle and 7 people nearby suffered minor injuries. Smoke could be seen billowing from in front of the 64-story hotel. Police say they are looking for secondary devices, but there does not appear to be any further threat to the public. The FBI is assisting in this investigation.
We were told that a 2024 Cybertruck pulled up to the front of the hotel, and in fact, I can tell you it pulled right up to the glass entrance doors of the hotel. We saw that smoke start showing from the vehicle, and then a large explosion from the truck occurs. There is one deceased individual in the Cybertruck, and I don't know whether it's a male or female at this time.
And police say most of the people staying at the Trump Hotel have been moved to the Resort World Las Vegas. And Elon Musk posted on social media that a team from Tesla is also looking into this incident. Well, you'll be quite surprised to hear what it takes to clean up Times Square after New Year's Eve. That breakdown is still ahead.
We started 2025 cooler than normal with a high of 60. Although we've got a warm up coming, it gets much colder next week. We'll take you into those numbers in First Warning Weather.
Texas seeks to survive in the college football playoff as the Longhorns face the Arizona State Sun Devils in a CFP quarterfinal matchup at the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. Jonathan Thomas is joining us now to tell us how the game went down. It was a nail-biter.
It was. It's interesting, Jennifer. The college football playoff usually has a lot of drama surrounding the selection of teams, but this season, when it comes to the games played, there hasn't been much. Every game before today's Peach Bowl has been decided by at least 10 points. That wasn't the case today, though, inside the Dome in Atlanta. It was a beautiful day in the ATL, but that didn't matter because they played in the Dome, where the weather is always nice. Longhorns fans there making the trip. Texas taking on Arizona State. Sun Devils, one of the best running backs in the country. Cam Scattaboo, the Longhorns looking to earn win number 13 on the season. In the fourth quarter, they're up by 9. Quinn Ewers scrambles, scores the touchdown right here on the run to put the Longhorns up 24-8. Texas up still by that score. 4th and 2 for Arizona State. Cam Scattaboo with a pass. He usually runs it, but he used his arm that time. Found Malik McClain for the touchdown. 2-point conversion brings the Sun Devils within 8. Then Quinn Ewers dropping back to pass, lofts this one up for Isaiah Bond, and it is intercepted by Javon Robinson for Arizona State. Then Scadaboo runs in for the touchdown there, and ASU only needed a 2-point conversion after that to tie it. They got it. 2 seconds left, though. Texas with a chance to win. Burt Auburn, the 38-yard field goal is no good. So we go to overtime. First overtime. Yeah, I said first overtime. Cam Scadaboo scores on the touchdown run. He just slipped away from Texas defenders and was pulled in the end zone by his own guy. ASU up 7. 4th down for Texas. Season on the line. Ewers to Matt Golden for the touchdown. And they would tie it at 31 after the Burt Auburn extra point. Then the first play of the second overtime. Ewers to Gunnar Helm. And that touchdown puts Texas up 37-31. It was 39-31 after they converted the 2-point conversion. Arizona State with a chance, but the pass intercepted by Andrew Makuba, the LBJ alum. Sealing it for Texas as the Longhorns win it 39-31 in double overtime. So Texas ties a program record with 13 wins. They advance to the college football playoff semifinal, which will be at the Cotton Bowl. Which will be the Cotton Bowl in Arlington at AT&T Stadium next Friday night. And they will play the winner of Ohio State and Oregon. Ohio State up 17-0 at last check of that score on the Ducks. Jennifer?
All right, Jonathan, thank you so much. Tomorrow will mark 2 years since Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin went into cardiac arrest during a Monday night football game. And since then, he's partnered with the American Heart Association to really make a difference off the field with the Hearts Act. Hope Winters reports.
Like, I think this is personal to them, right? And they're really stepping up in a big way to make sure that the Buffalo community and now, the entire country is better preparing themselves to help their neighbor, their friend, their spouse, their family member in the event of a cardiac emergency.
Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin is helping make impactful strides, not just on the field. His teamwork with the American Heart Association, the NFL, and government partners all helped pass the Hearts Act.
I've always envisioned myself, making an impact on the field, trying to be the best player I can be, and then just, doing work in my community, trying to give back. But to be able to, have something that means just as much to the world as what I can do on the field, truly gives that purpose.
This week marks 2 years since Hamlin went into cardiac arrest on the field during a Monday night football game. Medical professionals on the sidelines immediately took action and performed life-saving CPR. Hamlin is advocating to bring these life-saving skills to schools.
It's going to provide resources to public schools that really are going to become life-saving resources on school grounds, in athletic facilities, and could be the difference between life and death.
This act is designed to help provide funds for public schools nationwide to have access to AED, CPR training, and cardiac emergency response plans. The American Heart Association says out of the 350,000 cardiac emergencies that happen in the United States every year, 23,000 of them happen to children.
10% of people that suffer from an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest survive. So there's a huge gap there. Having AEDs in schools increases that number by 7 times, and having cardiac emergency response plans in schools will increase that number by 5 times.
The American Heart Association's mission is to turn bystanders into lifesavers who know CPR and AED training. If you're interested in learning these life-saving skills, they encourage you to sign up for a class. We have a link on our website, WIVB.com, on how to sign up. For now in the studio, Hope Winter, News 4.
All right, you have one of our cameras up at the Domain, and it was a nice start to the new year.
Not bad, a little fresh.
A little, yeah.
It's been cool today, but only a couple of degrees cooler than normal, so still within the realm of average. This is our Indeed weather camera at the Domain, looking out over Q2 Stadium, blue skies, just a few high thin clouds out there, and temperatures are already starting to drop. Most of us in the middle and upper 50s, unless you're in our eastern counties, then you're a little bit closer to 60. These numbers will keep dropping tonight. It is still going to be another chilly night. I just think our low temperature for the night is going to happen a little earlier than usual. Usually it happens closer to daybreak. I think it's going to happen just a few hours after midnight. And then as warmer air starts to surge in from the south, our temperatures may start climbing before the sun comes up. And then we'll head for 62 in the afternoon, which is average for this time of year, and a couple of degrees warmer than it was here today. So tomorrow morning's lows still down near freezing in the hill country before that warmer air arrives. Down into the low 40s in Austin, but some 30s away from the city, and then low 40s in our eastern counties for your early morning lows. We're already seeing some of that low cloudiness in South Texas now that'll be streaming north through the night and into tomorrow morning. It's just not likely going to get here before midnight, so the temperatures will tumble before the clouds insulate us like a blanket, and then once the clouds pull in and that southerly wind, then the numbers start to climb. So a cloudy beginning to your Thursday and even a few sprinkles or some spotty drizzle here through the middle of the day. Into the afternoon, we start seeing a lot of sunshine in the hill country. It's going to try working its way into the metro and our eastern counties. I just think it's going to struggle. So we'll call it mostly cloudy, 35 and east, but clouds giving way to afternoon sun for you in the hill country here tomorrow. Then these clouds will start to thicken back up again here into your Friday morning, but the sun should come out for more of us Friday afternoon. So Friday should be a warmer day. So we'll call it 42 for your overnight low in Austin, but a lot of 30s outside of the city and a few areas of drizzle and sprinkles early tomorrow morning. Then it's a mostly cloudy day, not completely cloudy, but mostly, and just that tiniest little sprinkle and drizzle chance with a high of 62. Then temperatures keep climbing. 68 Friday, 70 Saturday, 75 on Sunday, and then a strong cold front Sunday into Monday knocks our temperatures down 50s and 40s into early next week. But perhaps what's most important is how cold our low temperatures are going to get. Below freezing Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning, and that may time out with our next storm system, which is why we've introduced the chance for a wintry mix of precipitation next Wednesday. This is what our American computer model is suggesting. The blue is snow, pink is a wintry mix, and the green is rain. And you can see we're getting that near us here or on top of us on Wednesday. But not all of our computer models agree. This is the European computer model through the middle of next week, keeping the wet weather south of us, which is why, at least for now, our rain and wintry weather chances for the middle of next week are still on the low end. We do want you prepared for the cold, though. Those sub-freezing nights are likely, and those chilliest days in the 40s, which would be our coldest days since last winter, are very likely here for Tuesday, Wednesday, and even Thursday of next week. But that wintry precipitation for now, just a possibility. We'll be right back.
Tonight, a News Nation special report. Tragedy strikes New Orleans as crowds ring in the new year. Brian Enton is live on the scene, breaking down the deadly events in this latest act of terrorism. Terror on Bourbon Street. Special coverage begins tonight at 7/6 Central, only on News Nation. To find News Nation, go to newsnationnow.com.
Tonight, the latest on the ground from New Orleans, our investigation into the man accused of killing at least 10, running them down with his truck, an ISIS flag on the back. Who was he? And were the barricades in place sufficient? More tonight on Nightly News.
Doctors rang in the new year at St. David's Georgetown Hospital with the first baby born within the St. David's system in 2025. Say hello to Sophia Castillo. She was born at 12:12 a.m. New Year's Day, and she weighed in at a healthy 7 pounds and 4 ounces. Mom and baby are doing well as the family welcomes their second child. Less than 24 hours after the ball drop signaling the start of 2025, crews have cleared the confetti and other trash out of Times Square. When the countdown ends, 1 ton of confetti flies into the air, down to the million people who packed the New York City landmark. It takes a small army to clean it all up. 300 people, 45 mechanical brooms, 64 hand brooms, 63 backpack blowers, and 33 collection trucks, to be specific. So last year, crews picked up 53 tons of debris, and this year it was roughly the same. Your evening lineup, it's Chicago Wednesday with Chicago Med at 7, Chicago Fire at 8, and Chicago PD at 9. And of course, we'll be right back here at 10 o'clock for KXAN News.